Thanks for stopping by. I did not know that Classic TV edition. Please like and subscribe.
I'll think about it.
That's all I ask.
Do you love classic TV and cartoons? Check out the other videos on my channel where we cover everything from The Andy Griffith Show to Batman to Quisp and Quake and many more. Hi everyone. After I did my first Forgotten Superheroes episodes, I received a lot of requests to do one on the Herculoids, so I included that show in the next program. Probably the next most requested show after that was Birdman, so he's going to be featured in this one. I also got requests for the Galaxy Trio, a cartoon I have to admit I wasn't familiar with. I remembered the Birdman cartoon and soon learned that the Galaxy Trio was actually a part of his show. In fact, it was called Birdman and the Galaxy Trio. I wondered why I didn't recognize it, so I checked the Saturday schedule from back in the day, and this show was opposite the Moby Dick and Mighty Mightor show, which explains why I never watched it, because I never missed a Mightor episode, if I could help it. Birdman ran on NBC from the fall of 1967 until January 1968. After watching a few episodes of Birdman, the show brought me right back to that great era of cartoons. I'd forgotten all about that signature part of the show. What an odd and wonderful gimmick for a superhero, to shout out his own name in an echo chamber. It's something that's pretty dramatic, especially if you see it when you're a kid. Come to think of it, Mightor kinda did the same thing.
Mightor!
And when I heard Birdman speak, I immediately recognized the voice. It was a guy named Keith Andes, an actor that seemed to pop up in every action TV show in the 1960s. If you're a Star Trek fan, you probably remember him from the episode of The Apple. I'd recently seen him in an episode of The Rifleman, and when I heard Birdman talk, I recognized that voice right away.
I've heard about you now and then.
Oh? I don't have to ask if it was anything good.
And if they'd made a live-action show of Birdman, he could have done that one also. Birdman, like Superman, gets his power and strength from the sun.
Up to the sun! Birdman! My strength and powers are restored. Now I'm ready for those two.
And he has a sidekick eagle named Avenger. He operates out of a volcano, and he works for a top secret government agency called Inter-Nation Security. I realized back in my younger days, I thought he and Hawkman were the same character. And you can see why I could have made that mistake. Birdman doesn't seem to have much of a personal life because the wings in his back appear to be a permanent thing. If I'm wrong, someone can point out what episode in the original series that he doesn't have them. I know decades later they lampooned this cartoon and made him into an attorney. But as far as I can tell, he doesn't really seem to have a secret identity or a civilian life in the original cartoon program. While reviewing the series, one episode entitled Ant Ape caught my attention, and I think I have another favorite villain henchman monster. So, what is an ant ape? It turns out that Professor Claw injected ant fluid, yes, ant fluid, into this ant, which turned him into what he calls an ant ape with super strength. No word on if Professor Claw mixed in some steroids with this so-called ant juice. It really must have been a blast to write for shows like these. Pretty wonderfully bizarre.
You failed again, Claw. You and your little friend will be safe here until the police arrive.
As the series progressed, Birdman added a boy sidekick, who he found shipwrecked in the middle of the ocean. He used his energy and powers to heal the boy, who also then acquired his superpowers. He gave the boy metal wings and called him Bird Boy. A pretty imaginative series. What I need to know now is, how can I get a real Ant Ape t-shirt? So let's move on to the Galaxy Trio, a team of strange aliens with superpowers who fight those that seek to rule or destroy the galaxy. Whoops, wrong galaxy superhero team. It does make you think though. The Galaxy Trio ended in 1968, and the first Guardians of the Galaxy comic book came out in 1969. Both concepts are very similar. Is it possible that the idea for Guardians of the Galaxy was born from the Galaxy Trio? I couldn't really find any info about this, but it seems like an awfully big coincidence. As I mentioned earlier in this episode, the Galaxy Trio was a companion show with Birdman. The team had 3 members: Vapor Man, who could transform himself into gas. No jokes, please.
Meteor Man, how did you get back?
He is voiced by Don Mezek, and he is instantly recognizable as the voice of Dr. Benton Quest from Johnny Quest and so many other Hanna-Barbera cartoons. There is Gravity Girl, who defies the laws of gravity and can cause objects to be lighter or heavier than gravity, and she can also float through the air. And Meteor Man, voiced by the great Ted Cassidy.
No need to look for me. Here I am, safe and sound.
Meteor Man,
who could enlarge his fists or other parts of his body, which came in really handy when punching out aliens. What made this cartoon different from other superhero shows was that none of the heroes were from Earth, and it had kind of a Star Trek feel to it at times. Here's a short action clip that shows the powers of each character.
Up you go!
There was a lot to like in this show. I think in many ways it was a cartoon ahead of its time. I really enjoyed watching it, and I'm sorry it took so long for me to find out about it. I had intended to review 3 classic shows in this episode, but I try to keep these episodes under 10 minutes, so we'll just push the next cartoon into the next episode. Be sure to check out the other classic shows I review on my channel. Thanks again so much for stopping by and reliving some of these awesome shows from the past.
farewell, Galaxy Trio, and good luck on your next assignment. Thanks, Chief. We're on our way.
Better